Hi, Leather Rokk here. Pale skin people, if you have a hard time finding foundations that match your alabaster complexion, this video may help you. Let's get started. Today, while I was doing my show prep, I was looking at assortment of foundations that I'm working with currently, and there are some that work with me better than others, and it occurred to me that I would put them on a graph just so that I could compare them on paper, and I did them also on my arm. Now, it's a really hot summery day that I did the prep, and it's still hot out now, so I went and I took a shower and I showered everything off. So I'm going to replicate what I came up with today, and I think we're going to go in order of the lightest to the darkest, but we're going to, with the lightest, actually start with a white face that some people actually might use on a regular basis. I know that when I frequented the goth clubs, I used it a lot. It's also something that I use sometimes for my highlight, and I think it's something that most people probably should have in your makeup kit, is a good thing of white face makeup. Now, this stuff is by Ben Nye, one of the better makeup companies, I think. Oh, and by the way, all the products I'm going to show you are budget friendly. If it's something that I can afford, I can recommend it to you. These are things actually that I think are pretty good. But this Ben Nye cream color, it's a really convenient, hold it in your hand, compact. Look at this. I got this in New York City, and these things, if you keep them sealed up, they'll last a real long time, and you can see how much pan I hit on it. I love this. A lot of times, not only are these good for face makeup, if you want to do a gothic thing, if you want to do Halloween things, I use this with my zebra stripe. You could also use this as an eyeshadow prep primer. Moisturize your eyelids, apply a light coat to this with a fingertip, and then apply your eyeshadow, and you find that your eyeshadow colors will really pop. This is at a much better price than some of those primers that you could be spending upwards of $20 for. I don't want to spend that kind of money, and I'm not going to recommend you do it either. Now, going up, down the list is another Ben Nye product, and this I do absolutely use for foundation. I love it, again, for the portability. This is on the lighter end of the foundations I use, but I absolutely adore it, and it is the Ben Nye Cream Highlighter in the color Highlight. This also can be used for leg makeup. This can be good for disguising mosquito bites. These cream colors are waterproof. They stand up to the hot, sweaty stage lights. That's where Ben Nye got his start. Ben Nye Company. Ben Nye was a makeup artist, and he did many films in Hollywood. So his products are still used by theatrical people. They're still used by actors and stage dancers. And you usually can get them in costume shops. Some, I'm sure, beauty supply places sell them, but I get them in costume shops. You can really get good deals on makeup if you know what you're looking for. And here, I'm going to turn the light out so you can see what this looks like. This, if I had to say probably what my favorite foundation color is for me would be this one. Now, next on the list, now this isn't technically a foundation, this is a concealer. This is by B&H Cosmetics. This is their Studio Pro line. Now, when I first got this, and I haven't mail ordered from them in over 2 years because I'm kind of saving up for some things that are more skincare than makeup related now. But this was the lightest concealer color they made. This is color 101. Now they have a 100 and a 100.5 that are even lighter. And this, I believe, is warm. The other color is a neutral and a cool. I'm a cool tone, so I try to find things that do have a cool, like a blue cast to it or a pink cast to it. But a lot of times it's really hard. You end up finding only warm casts. Now, next up on that list would be this, and I really like it a lot. This is the L'Oreal True Match, and this is the lightest shade that they have that I could find. It's the warm one. If they had the cool one, if they had it, it was actually darker than this. And I'm a kind of person that usually I head right away for the lightest shade they have and hope that it fits. And a lot of the times, most of the time, it's actually too dark for me. So another reason why it's good to have some kind of a white face is you can mix it in with your foundation to get it lighter. But the only problem with that is you are going to change the consistency of the foundation into a texture that you may or may not want. And these cream compacts are going to make things more opaque, creamier, oilier, which is probably a good thing because it'll make them last longer. But this W1, I like it a lot. Even though it says it's warm, it seems kind of cool. So maybe instead of it being warm, maybe it's actually more of a neutral. Now, I thought, not to interrupt my video, but I thought I saw a recent commercial for this company that suggested they may have gone down a step. So maybe they have one more lighter skin option because they say that they have some new colors. So that means more shades for more people. So the darker skin people getting theirs and us pale people can get ours. And that's really great. Because sometimes you get something that's the lightest, just like if you got something that is the darkest, you're always on the lookout for that thing that's an even better match. That in my case would be lighter, or maybe in your case would be darker. Now, this is, well, you know what? Oh my goodness, I reversed things. I'm sorry. No, this is the next in line. This is the Maybelline Fit Me, and this is their matte and poreless. They have another texture which is a hydrating and dewy moisturizing formula, and I don't remember what it's called, but since I have oily skin, I mean, look at the shine. Of course, this is also sweat too because it's hot and I turn the fans off. But the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Fit Me, this is in shade 102 Porcelain. And this was the lightest shade they made. I'm pretty sure it's still the lightest. Even though number 102 seems like it's just begging to go lower, don't you think? Unless now, some companies I noticed are actually making a white face just to adjust the color. Now, my question is, what color do they make if you want to adjust it darker? But not my problem. Okay, I think, oh, and this I bought recently, the last time I went to a beauty supply when I had to get my hair dye and stuff. I saw they had a 30% clearance rack. And of course, me and clearances, I have to check it out. And this is the CoverGirl Smoothers line of foundation. And this was the lightest shade they had, and it was number 710 Classic Ivory. Now, a lot of times with the name Ivory, there's all kinds of descriptors before it. And so I know that not all of them are probably going to be all that light. And sure enough, when I took it home, it was the darkest of all the foundations I have now. And that really kind of bums me out because it limits how much I can use it. When I put it on, I feel like I have a tan look, and I kind of don't like that. But the more I think about it, I realize that I could use this just for a contour part of my face. I could use this just on the jawline, or maybe to sink me in a little bit. But again, there's a contour that would be kind of subtle, and when you get really close on digital photography especially, or even video cameras, if you have a sunblock, you'll get a white cast anyway. But if you're white like me, that's cool. I'm like the only color that doesn't mind the white cast. People complain about their sunblock, they complain about the flash photography. Well, on me it actually matches. So like anything in life, you make it work for you. Now, let's actually have some fun and do some swatches. That's why I'm not wearing any bracelets or anything. Oh, what do you think of the necklace? And this is not ivory. Now this is actually from Africa. I got this at a shop on the boardwalk. I asked them what it was made of, and they assured me that it was made of yak bone. You'll have to look in a dictionary or a encyclopedia to find out what a yak looks like, or you can be lazy and use the internet. But I think they're cool because I like the sound they make, and I kind of like the fact that it's bone, and I'm hoping that it was humanely captured and all that, but it's a little late to worry about it. But okay, this is, and I'm not gonna do these heavily, I'm going to pat them out. I'm going to try to kind of be even with it. White. Hopefully not get my hair stuck in it. It is so hot in here. My goodness. And I had to close all the windows up because the neighborhood people are hooting and hollering and stuff, and cars and stuff. And I just want to minimize the noise. Love this highlight color. Yeah, when you're light like me, you're actually probably going to highlight with white. So it's really, some things are very versatile to have on hand. Now there are some, I'm sorry that I didn't save packaging of some other foundations I use, but when you're a YouTuber, it's really hard to, I don't want to complain about being a YouTuber, but we do tend to have to hold on to packaging a lot longer, and that kind of makes messes, and I really don't like being messy. I'm so glad when I can finally get rid of something, when I know I'm not going to have any more reason to talk about a product. I mean, some things you hold on to, you can hold on to for years. Like I have an area where I keep my makeup, and I have also an area where I store duplicates of things, so that like my extra mascaras, because I'm not going to probably want to have more than 2 or 3 mascaras open at a time, because once you open them, they have a limited shelf life and bacterial buildup happens, and anyhow they usually dry out and get gummy anyway. So you don't want to have too many open, but the new ones you have, I like to have in an area for duplicates, and that's also where I keep my flattened packaging of things that I know I'm going to eventually want to review. And another thing, reason why for YouTubers to keep packaging, say new equipment I get to film with, it's really good to have the packaging, because when you go and take that equipment when you're traveling with it, like say I went to a YouTube creators convention and I needed to bring computers and webcams, a separate webcam, and the lavalier mics I'm going to get. If you keep the packaging, you have extra cushioning, and your stuff is much less likely to get damaged in transit. And you can put it like in a big duffel bag or something, and the things won't break. So that's really a good idea to save your packaging. You know, you just flatten it for around the house, and but just reconstitute it, you know, when you go. So oh, I feel like I am gonna need another shower after this. You know, summertime I could take 3 showers a day. It's so hot and sweaty. The thing is, if I take that many showers, I don't want to always get my face wet, because if I have retinol on, I want to leave that on a good 12 hours, because that's expensive skincare. And I'm saving up for this Retin-A. I'm gonna be getting that soon. And once I'm on that expensive prescription stuff, there's no way I'm gonna wash my face off before it's been on like 12 hours. So, because I mean, I can't afford to be putting that on 4 times a day. Now, I don't know if you can even see this. Oh, and now if I put this on, this will look so dark. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed about that. And then some other foundations, they get old and they oxidize. They mix in with the oils in your body, and they can get kind of an orangish cast. And the thing is that because that's warm, and if you're cool, that really looks very unnatural and very muddy. And because of it's a warm cast, you can't use it for contouring. You really can't. Now with flash photography, that might disguise it somewhat, but not really. Okay. Now, I don't know how these foundations will do for you. There are supposed to be some really excellent high-end foundations, but I'm not going to spend $40 on a foundation. It's not worth it to me. At least when you spend less money on them, you can get 2 bottles of the color that works for you, so you know you won't run out. And then when it gets really totally low, just hold it upside down. Use a Q-tip if you have to. Oh, or if you happen to have a broken finger like me, and this broke like, what, 3 years ago. One thing that's great about having a finger like that is it gets in the neck of bottles and it cleans them out real easy. See, it's all in how you look at things. It's got to be practical, right? Alright, these are all the... Oh, I almost forgot. ELF, E-L-F, ELF Cosmetics, Eyes, Lips, Face. They have something called All Over Color Stick. Now, there was a little bit more to this. It looked kind of like a lipstick. You swivel up tube with the plastic cap over it. And there wasn't very much in them. There's only like about maybe 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch high it goes. But it is an opaque pancake makeup. Now, the color on it, though, doesn't make sense. It's the absolute lightest shade. I will get some out with a fingernail and show you. See? Blends in with me. But they call it apricot beige. It sounds like it's quite a dark orangey peachy color, but it's not. It's the lightest color they have. If you can still find that, it's only $1. I mean, I'm telling you, how much more reasonable is it than that? If I ever went to a beauty supply store or what have you, Ulta, Sally, Veterinary Beauty Supply, any place really, they had these things for $1, I would seriously get 10 of them. This color is perfect. Something about having a swivel up stick that you can use as a concealer, as a foundation. They're great. You can't beat them. And also, because they're creamy, great to use on your eyelids. But I still swear by the white face. If you're a pale person and you want a good primer for your eyes, white face in the cream. And get the Ben Nye, invest in it. This said $5.99. Now, I got it, it was may have been about 10 years ago. I don't know. I don't know how old this is. But smells just fine. You know, if things pass the smell test, no doubt okay. And as long as your hands are clean, obviously you don't touch things when you're not clean. You know, it goes a long way to retard the spread of bacteria. Because these things, however long the shelf life is, obviously I'm not going to advocate throwing things out before you use them up. If you keep sanitary practices, you can use them up. Just make sure that they still smell good and they don't make your eyes burn or whatever. Or unless your eyes have sinus issues, in which case you're screwed anyway. Alright, if this was valuable to me, valuable to you. Sorry about that. If this was valuable to you, give it a thumbs up. If you like these videos, feel free to subscribe, hit the bell. That way you know when I make my next upload. I would love to have you join my family. And anyway, I will talk to you later. Bye.